maybe you have seen already, Gaesdonck is a very traditional German boarding school at the Lower Rhine area. That means it's a little bit on the border side of Germany, but it's really in the heart of Europe, with a direct border to the Netherlands and to Belgium. So we are a mid-sized house with around 800 students, and approximately 200 out of the 800 are boarding. We are a little bit proud now. For 2 years in a row, we have been ranked by Deutschland Test Association as one of the top 10 boarding schools in Germany. This year, actually, we achieved place number 4, which is not too bad, humble as we are. So, Gaesdonck is one of the oldest German traditional boarding houses. So this year, actually, we celebrate our birthday. So we have 175 years now. And we have transformed and developed into a very modern and positive learning environment for German and also some international students in these 175 years. Let me start and introducing ourselves bottom up. What do children find when they join Gaesdonck? Yes, sure. You will find an exceptionally well-equipped campus and learning environment. You will find committed teachers and quite committed boarding school and external lecturers. Students find strong individual support at Gaesdonck. So especially for international students, when it is about language issues, we have an in-house language school, and it's part of our program for international students, that every week we add some hours of language training to our curriculum, that you really get well prepared for the final exams. Altogether, students, and I think that's the most important part, they find a very positive and lively learning atmosphere when they join Gaesdonck. I think we have a very a strong academic environment, but the students usually are very polite and respectful. And this is also something we really foster, and we really encourage to form a strong community with our national and international students. A part of that tradition, if we talk about head, mind, heart, and character, is that Gaesdonck is founded on an old Catholic tradition. It is not super present in daily life today, but it is present once for a while. And what students experience, for instance, that also some Sunday service and also religious education as a school subject is mandatory. Most other offers are voluntarily, and so far we experienced that if international students are curious about this part of the tradition, this is a quite interesting point, and something he's not convinced, besides having mandatory religious education. In the end, above national average. Interesting. Every year I count the graduation results from our interest to also have our international students at least on the German North Rhine-Westphalia. So we prepare our students, the national ones, really for their after-school life. And we see that the vast majority of our students afterwards continues their education at renowned, good German, their strong GAESDONK alumni network that also can support also our graduates during their first years at the university later on. So, GAESDONK is a traditional German 9-year. That means from to graduate in which is a quite traditional way to do it in Germany. So you see it's 12 Q1 and it's 13 Q2. So
Dr. Marcus, your network is a bit poor.
Phase Q school are 2 years. It's year 12. Can you repeat, please?
The network is a bit poor, so maybe we need to turn off the video. So maybe will be better.
Okay, I can see you very well.
Yeah, because
the line connection is not so good.
Yeah, the network connection is not so good. Maybe we turn off our video.
Yeah.
And maybe Elisa can.
Yeah, I also turn off. Yeah.
Maybe now it's better. I think yes.
Okay, I hope it helps.
Yeah, it's better now. It's better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it helps. So there are 2 options to join GAESDONK. Both have advantages and disadvantages. In many cases, Chinese students join GAESDONK directly after finishing the high school in China, and then they immediately start with us and jump into year 11, into the upper secondary. So they immediately jump into the upper grammar school. That's if the high school is finished in China with good results. This is a very typical way. There are no problems doing so. And then it takes another 3 years to graduate with the Abitur. Some Chinese students already join us in year 9 or year 10. So they spend more time with us. The challenge, if you join us in year 10, is that you need to graduate the junior high school. There's a special test at the end of year 10. Usually our Chinese students never had problems with this, but it's fair to say. But the big advantage by joining already in year 10 is that you can get Chinese accepted as a second language. And you need to have 2 second languages in Germany. It's not a GAESDONK thing. It's the same with all German schools. You need to have a second language to graduate with the Abitur. And if you already join us in year 10, you may get accepted Chinese as a second language. So you do not have You do not have to learn an additional foreign language in the upper grammar school. If you directly start at year 11, then usually besides English, you need to take a second language. In most cases, this is Spanish. Both is possible. It's faster to join directly the upper grammar school. But if you step in 1 year early, already in year 10, the way is a little bit more easy because you do not need to take in a language. Talking about language. That needs to be said, and that's very clear. Now I also get a remark that the connection is a little bit unstable. I hope you can still hear me. So our academic language is German. Therefore, we require a B2 level for starting and for signing in at GAESDONK. You may achieve your kids, your children may achieve that already in China, and they might get the certificate already in China by Goethe Institute or whoever. Some students, they go to Germany and do some language training first in another institution. But starting lessons at GAESDONK, we require level B. Your children with our in-house school. This is the least we need to successfully achieve good grades. And that's what we all want. We want to write a success story and we want to have a good graduation in the end. So we need B2, and based on B2 as an entry level, we will support your children to deepen the language level and the communication skills. If this is successful, we, in addition to the preparation, are able to offer your children in the upper 3 advanced courses that already during the Abitur prepare for later studies in the field of arts, architecture, or design, in the field of business, and in the field of medical science. This is a strong additional program which provides best application chances later on at universities. And some of those aspects really, I can say, are unique nationwide. And what you can see on the photo is a student, and she, until today, the photo is 4 years old, but until today holds the record in business mathematics, full scoring 15 points. So the best grade ever in this course was achieved by a Chinese student so far. So again, we have these 3 modules discussing business, arts, which is not only arts, which also includes architecture, design, graphics, or medical science, which is a quite demanding and fascinating programs for students that like to prepare for later medical studies at universities. I think we all agree the academic performance is not everything when sending your students and your children abroad. What they will meet at GAESDONK is a very colorful campus life with different activities. They might be intellectual, they might be social, it might be sports, but we will offer them a broad cultural experience and to get a full picture about how is life in Germany. I asked some students some weeks ago, okay, what do you think we should present to Chinese parents? So I asked my Chinese students, what do you think is important? Should we talk about advanced classes or should we talk about the academic profile? And then my student said, no, Dr. Oberst, you need to tell the parents that we have single rooms here. I said, okay, I will tell the parents that we have single rooms here. So every student has a single room. And they told me, and you need to tell the parents that we have really, really, really good food here. And I said, it's and I said, okay, and I asked Ning Tzi and I asked Ning Tzi, do you really think your parents are interested in the food? And then she said, you know, Dr. Oberster, my mom calls me once a week and asks me, how was it in school today? But she calls me every day and asks how was the food. So Ning Tzi recommended me to talk about food, and we really have a good kitchen, and you every day you have several options, as you can see, between the main menu or a vegetarian menu or some light modern cuisine, and you always have salad and you always have a soup and you always have a dessert. So your children will not starve with Gaesdonck. That I can promise. And I can promise you that they will experience, I already said it, a broad variety of options to spend their time. This we discuss very individually with every single student. So some of the students are more interested in sports, some are more interested in music, and some of them are more interested in sitting there in their room and playing computer games. And actually, yeah, this is also something we allow up to a certain extent. But we do not want them only to sit in their room and play computer games. So then we motivate them and say, okay, you should try something in addition at least once or 2 times a week. And therefore, with every single student, we agree on an individual weekly schedule. Yeah, this is only what you see now is only very, very individual, and it can be very, very different for your children. But we sit together and we fix, that's the green part, and we fix the school program. We say, okay, these are the lessons you need to attend. And then every day we agree on a certain time where you see Studierzeit, which calls studying time. This is not negotiable. We do studying time. We have a look that there is also enough free time. You see the light green ones, Freizeit. But also at least 1-2 times a week, we say, okay, maybe you should do something. You should experience something of our campus offer. Can be music. You see here, choir. You see here, mathematics, yeah, but you should do something. You should not only sit in your room and play computer games. And this is something we will inform you about via your agency. We say, okay, for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, this is the weekly schedule of your child. Talking about subjects, everything this is green here. We individually agree also the set of subjects with every student in year 11, in year 12, and in year 13. There are limitations coming from the German school legislation. So you're not allowed to take less than 2 languages. You're not allowed to take away mathematics. So there are some things you need to do. But within the framework we have, we are very, very flexible. So every student can pick his own timetable and say, okay, I'd like to have this subject and I like to have physics, but not biology. And I'd like to have history, but not economics or whatever. And we try to enable it for the student. So that means it's a little bit like a university. So they have an app on their smartphone, and then they have their individual timetable, so they can see in the app, okay, what is my next subject? Where do I need to go? And it might be that in all the subject, they sit together with different students because they have chosen other options. So we are very individual, and your children can pick the subjects that are most interesting to them, where they perform the best in the given framework of what school legislation allows. So, in the end, our experience so far is that Gaesdonck can offer international students from Asia a very pleasant but also academically demanding environment. And we're really convinced that we are able to prepare a good way for further studies in German universities. Having a final look into our national group of students. So I told you we have 750 roughly students at the moment. Not all of them are boarding. Around 220 are in the boarding houses. Some of them sleep with us, so they're full-time boarding. Some of them sleep at home. But 220 out of the 750 are in the boarding houses. And out of the two, approximately, I'd say 30 to 40 have an international background. International background means the majority is Asian. It's Chinese, it's students from Korea, it's students from Vietnam. The second largest group is students from Latin America, so from Mexico, from Paraguay, and then we have also students coming from all other parts of the world, from Africa, from other parts of Europe, and from the US. We really see that no nationality becomes too big, because we want all our students to integrate in their house. We want to integrate them into the community with the other nationalities and with the German students. We see that we do not get too big groups from one particular country, and therefore it's good that we talk early, as it might be that some places and some seats are limited. Good. You can read everything on our homepage. You can follow us wherever you like. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. And then it is especially your agency, it's German Life Global, that can give you much more and deep information about our house. So if you're interested in applying for a school stay for your kids in Germany, contact Lisa or contact your partners in China. Good.